The things that I was looking for in a husband were of someone who resembled St. Joseph as much as they could. It would be, St. Joseph, the model of a husband and a father.
I was looking for in a wife was someone who had a strong faith, to help me on this journey of faith. And in Cathy, I certainly found that.
The story of how John and I met actually is interesting. And for myself, I had kind of a reconversion to the faith in about 2002. And from that point on, I had just totally given my life to the Lord. John, in the meantime, was working as a campaign manager for a political candidate.
I was in my early 30s and I was involved with this political campaign trying to get a pro-life candidate elected into Parliament.
My cousin's wife saw John talking with my father. They knew each other from the Knights of Columbus. My cousin's wife said, I wonder if Cathy would like to be introduced to John. I wonder if they would make a good pair.
We decided to go out on a date. A couple days later, we went to just out for some drinks and some food. And it was great. I think I knew she was exactly what I was looking for, someone that I could talk to, someone who shared the faith. And of course, she was very beautiful too, so that certainly would help. I went to her father and I asked permission to marry her, and he gave his blessing. And I took out a ring. I didn't have a ring at that point, so I just gave her my ring. I got on my knee and I said, will you marry me? And she, of course, accepted. The best quality that I find in Cathy is her heart. I watch her with the children. I see how she is with raising them. I mean, for me as a father and husband, I have to go out to work, so I can't spend the time here. But Cathy's taking on homeschooling and she's teaching the children. And I just see how beautiful our children are.
John is someone who really sees people. He has a way of seeing things in the children that I might miss. He has a way of seeing them. He sees into their heart. And then we can, if it's something that's something that needs to be worked on, then him and I can come up with a way of addressing the issue with the child. If it's something that's really positive, then we come up with a way of really highlighting that about the child. Cathy,
she's like this beautiful flower that's opened up, and she smiles, she has a beautiful smile. And again, this is joy that comes from her. And again, I see the Lord coming and working through her. And I think that's a beautiful quality about her, and I just admire her so much for who she is and all the sacrifice. It's the great sacrifice that she's done for our family. John is he can stay in the moment. So when he plays with the children, he plays in the moment. And he plays hard with the children. He's so good. He'll play running around, playing bad guys with them, with their little Nerf guns, or he'll, play tea party with the girls. He's able to stay in that moment without thinking, without leaving that moment. So that I really admire about him. And he's such a good father. Something difficult that happened for our family that we had to pass through together was about 7 years ago. We were expecting twins and we miscarried. It was really hard because part of me was asking, well, why, Lord, would you have let us know this child and then let him slip away or let them slip away? After we had lost the twins, and then of course it conceived Anna, and when she was here, just that if those two hadn't died, we hadn't had that miscarriage, then we would never have known Anna, and then we would never have known Vienna. So they really paved the way. And yet, through our faith, we also know that the twins are real, that they exist, that they are also in heaven too, and they're part of our family. And it's just kind of this marvelous thing, thinking about how God works, that you can have this loss, but again, through our faith, we were able to go through it and just pray about it and just know that there was something greater in God's plan. And then, of course, we found out later, too, that we were having Anna.
As a couple, we decided that we wanted to do homeschooling with the children. It's something that we had discussed, I think, even from the beginning, even when we were dating it, too, that would be part of what we were doing. So we wanted them to be able to know the Lord and know that the Lord's not separated from what they do, that everything that you do, the Lord has to be part of. Whether you're doing math, well, where did math come from? I mean, it's ultimately from God, logic, even the beauty of art and everything else.
And we chose to follow more of a classical Catholic Christian education for them because it's rooted in truth, beauty, and goodness, and virtue. It's teaching them virtue, teaching them also how to think, teaching them so much more than just a page in a science book or a page in a math book.
Each of our children is unique. Matthias is our oldest child. He's 14 years old. He's very kind of determined. But I really look at him as almost like a Peter, like an apostle, because he's our firstborn. And he's really taken on a lot of responsibilities, and we really admire him for that. He has some unique interests, like he likes cars. He's really our responsible one in many ways, and it's a gift to have him like that as the oldest one of the family.
Tobias, he is our second son, and he is 13 years old. He's had a heart of gold since he was little. He's had a heart of gold. He has the greatest smile, and he is the one that makes us laugh. Yeah. He's quick-witted. He'll come up with things, and you'll stop for a moment, and then you'll look at each other, and you'll just laugh because what comes out of him, and the whole family will laugh together because he's quick. He loves to play with the other children too. He really does have a heart for the other kids, and he loves to bake. He loves to bake birthday cakes and cookies, and he'll bake things for the family members who don't bake. He's very creative. He's the one he will be sketching all the time. He'll come up with comics, and he'll come up with stories, and so he's really creative in that way. He's kind of the kids call him the genius of the family. He's the one, the human calculator, or the one who knows all the facts about everything. So he's really fun to have around with the other boys.
Our third child is John Jacob, and he's 12 years old. I would describe him as our adventurer, and he's really into exploring. He's talked about doing exploring and traveling and doing those kind of things. We bought him a book on how to read maps. He wanted a compass. He's got a pocket knife. He has these different kind of explorer hats as well. He's all set for going out in an adventure, and he's been like that right from the beginning. Just really, wanting to go out and explore the world and just see different things.
And then we have Timothy, who's our fourth son. I think, as far as John and I could see, if any of our boys were called to a vocation to the priesthood, it would be Timothy. We have an uncle who actually lives in Quebec, but he would come and visit sometimes. My uncle, he's a priest. And when he would do mass here, he would let Timothy, come and be near him or be his little altar server. Even when he wasn't old enough to altar serve, he would have him help. He will say, "Mom, I heard that, Grandma had a sore back, and so I prayed a rosary for her before I went to bed." Or, "My sister isn't feeling well, so Mom, I did a sacrifice and I did this for her." Like, he'll do things in secret, and then he'll come and tell me after. So and when I'm teaching them, when I'm talking about the saints, or when I'm talking about things that the Lord does in our lives, he's wide-eyed and he takes it all in. And you could tell he's thinking about it. And out of all of our children, I think he's the one that will take it in, and he'll act on it in his own little way. And I pray, if that's what the Lord wants of him, that he wants him to be his priest.
Our fifth child is Zaylee, and she is our first girl. She is 7, almost 8 years old. Because she's the oldest girl, she almost takes a new position in the family as, just like Matthias is our oldest boy. She's the oldest girl, so she kind of represents that older person, that older sibling with the younger girls. For reading, she's an avid reader.
She's our craft girl. She loves anything crafty and artsy and anything she wants. We're trying to teach her how to sew. I'm not one to sew, so my mom's been trying to teach her. And she wants to learn how to make dresses, and she wants to design dresses and clothes. And so she's she loves color. She loves to do anything she can do with her hands and craft.
And she loves to draw too. She draws us pictures, really good pictures. I'm quite impressed of how she can draw and just her creativeness too. So yeah, those are some really great gifts of hers.
Anna is our 6th child, and she is 6 years old. And she is so full of life. She's full to the top of life. The Lord poured in all his energy into this little bundle. She has always had a belly laugh. When she would laugh, even as a baby, it was one of those laughs that when they laugh, you laugh, and all the people around you laugh because this is coming from just her gut. And still to this day, when we tickle her, when we play with her, or even when she's playing by herself, she will laugh, but it comes right from her core. She's real. She loves to be outside. She loves to color. She loves to make pictures as well. And she has a really good heart. She takes care of her little sister.
Vianney, named after Saint Jean Vianney, is our 7th child and also the youngest one in our family. She is 3 years old. I think, again, because she's growing up in a big family, she's really advanced in a lot of her ways. She's been speaking full sentences, she converses with other people. And not only us as a family, but she'll talk to adults as well. Everybody loves her. The boys just fall in love with her. And she just has this kind of unique personality. She has a unique voice that's almost a little bit raspy. And even her face, we call it a smush face because it's a little bit pushed up. But so she's kind of different from everyone else in our family, but yet such a gift, such a real gift.
Some of the biggest challenges with having multiple kids, of course, multiple pregnancies is so challenging physically, especially when you already have a handful of children and then you're going through more pregnancies. So physically, it's demanding and it's exhausting, and you're on day and night, especially with little ones, little baby. Mentally as well, you are always trying to provide whatever child needs. You're always trying to think, you're always trying to plan, you're always trying to organize your days and organize your meals and there's always something that comes up that's unexpected. If you continue to pray every day and seek the Lord's will for your life, then He'll reveal it in your heart. The Lord doesn't just ask everyone to have huge families, but there's a call on your vocation, on your marriage. If that's what He designs for your life, then even though it's likely going to be the more difficult path, it's the path that is His holy will, which is the most fulfilling path.
I would say the most important thing is just be open to life. And I think just even that mentality is very important. Each child is a new soul, and it's someone that God has planned from all eternity. And I think even through the miscarriage, even if they were with us for a short time, and even if it wasn't that we could physically hold them, that they had a soul right from conception. And that's a person, and that person will exist for all of eternity. But it took our yes to have that, and without that yes to God and to being open to life, then that person wouldn't exist.
I think too, we don't want to shy away from the amount of sacrifice that it takes and the amount of suffering that it involves to have a big family. It's not all, roses and butterflies and rainbows, and it is very difficult. And it takes everything. It's full of sacrifice, but once you cooperate with God's grace and you know that that's what our life is about, and to know that the suffering always leads to something great, and that the Lord's always doing something, that it makes it easier to walk through those days that are more difficult, and to just know that you're giving and you're giving and you're giving. And that's just like He does for us. He's our example. And something that's really, really important is to always count on the Blessed Mother. She is the perfect mother. She is the one that is teaching me. I often say, give me your heart. Lend me your heart, because I want to love the children. Give me the wisdom to know what each child needs, or what my husband needs. And so she has always been there. She has never failed us. She has never failed me. She'll give me the gentleness I need. She'll give me the kindness. She'll give me the patience when I don't have it.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Are you searching for purpose of life? Discover your true identity. Stay tuned to Shalom World.